for today's cup of coffee. This is going to be free form.
Freeform.
I do have some references on this, but questions, because this is how my brain works. It's
Questions.
like I go down rabbit holes.
So many questions. All the
I
questions.
do. Yes, questions all the time. And it's not just us that occasionally gets overmodulated. I can't remember what it was that we had watched the day before, but other people were overmodulated. So
I think it's just the
'tis
fact that I
the
was too close to
season.
my mic when I got loud.
It wasn't just you. I was doing it too. But it was somebody else that I know what it was. I know what it was. It was
What?
that new Melanie Martinez. He made me listen to
Oh
it.
yeah, it was something from Melanie
That
Martinez.
the whole damn thing sounded overmodulated, and I'm like,
It was
well,
not the
maybe
whole
it's a
thing.
trend.
It was not the whole thing. It was a good. It was
It
part
was
of the song.
lots of it.
Uh-huh.
So
But there's been other songs I've had you listen to
we're
that had that
trendy.
overmodulation sound.
We're trending. It's a
Sure.
matter of dankness going in with the paranormal. So there you go.
The dank memes going into the paranormal dank memes.
Yeah, did you hear about dude being arrested over a meme?
No.
No shit. And it's like I said, I don't like to get political on this channel.
Was that the one that Mudahar covered?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that dude could be facing up to 10 years over a meme.
Which is stupid. Free him.
You know, one
Freedom of
meme
speech
to rule them all.
freedom of speech does not exist in other countries.
Well, it's like
it
this.
does over here in America.
Freedom of speech includes speech that you don't like.
Yeah.
But it's somebody else's, right to say it.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody says something you don't agree with, get away from them. Don't listen to them. You have options. But as far as shutting someone down, no, that should not be a thing. That is a scary thing, is what that is, truly. And it is paranormal because we understand that the reptilians are behind this shit.
I think to an extent there is a certain point that you tell them to shut up.
Well, like I said, if it's somebody on some kind of device, turn it off. You don't have to listen to it. Now, if somebody is too damn dumb that they don't understand what day to vote, do they need to be voting for real?
No.
And that's what it was about, because that has been a meme that has been going around for years. It's a joke. To tell somebody, oh, well, it's actually here on, this day or that day. And it's like, hell, our whole damn country has become a joke, and not a happy one.
Yeah, we are literally the laughing stock of other countries. To other countries.
Yeah. But I hope that people realize it's not... Some of the people here still have some sense. It's just that the media is making it appear that these other people are in the majority, and they're not.
No.
Doctor told my mother one time when she was in the hospital, I think it was after my birth.
Uh-huh.
And there was another lady that had come in birthing a child.
Yeah.
And she was going on something horrible from what Mom reported. And the doctor came. I mean, it tore Mom all to pieces. She was out in the stairwell crying. I mean, she was 21 years old when she had me.
Well, shit.
And the doctor came out and found her. And he's like, look, those who scream the loudest are usually not in the most pain. And the woman that was going on like that had multiple children. It's usually the first child that causes the most pain.
Why do they scream like that?
Attention. So, and that voice is being amplified horribly. So that goes back to there is a fucking agenda. If anybody ever doubted it. Yeah. And we're going to be talking about something kind of sort of similar, but not. In this cup of coffee, was watching a video from another channel. If I remember, I'll put the link to it because it was quite good. It was discussing something that we had talked about many cups ago And I will put a link to ours too. Now, it truly was a porch pondering before we got our current setup.
Yeah.
And this was about the Hopkinsville, Kentucky goblins. And I've heard some of them, they put Kelly-Hopkinsville. I
Those
don't
silver
know.
looking dudes that we watched earlier.
Yeah.
The ones
And
with
so,
the elf ears.
Yes, that's the one that's our
Weird bug
back.
eyes on the head.
It's our
Side of the
background
head.
today. Is the drawing of one of what these
They
things
look like
were
something I would
reported to look
draw.
like. Well, yeah. And it's like this family was absolutely terrified. Whatever it was, they had seen some kind of,
Like
they said it was an egg-shaped, spacecraft or whatever, and that these little things came out of it. They shot at the damn things, and it would just bounce off them. One had supposedly done a backflip and then came right back. They went to the cops. The cops were sort of questioning them, asked them if there had been alcohol usage during that period of time, which there was not.
Mm-hmm.
Went out there. The things were not there then because the cops did not take it seriously. Any kind of evidence that could have been there had been trampled underfoot.
Yeah.
And then the things came back during the night. And that...
They came back a lot.
Well, I think it was just the one incident, but that would be enough to screw you up for the rest of your life.
Yeah, but they came back multiple times within that one night.
Well, they had people, after the press got hold of the story, and that was the origin of little green men.
When they weren't even green.
They weren't. They were silver. And so they ran with that. You had people that just swamped this family's house property. They had said that people were actually going through their house, which is kind of crazy. And so these people, when they found out they couldn't fight the mobs coming in, they started charging admission. I don't blame them. That was pretty smart.
Yeah.
And so then what happened was they're like, oh, well, they just made this up so that they could make money.
And they didn't even want to they didn't want that attention.
No.
That was thrust upon them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think that
they've just started charging like admission fees just because they just got frustrated.
Sure. I mean,
by people barging in there. Yeah. They were going to be there anyway. So it's like, okay, we can literally... They put up no trespassing signs at first, try to do everything that they could to deter them. So they're like, you know what? Might as well make some money off of it.
I don't blame them. I don't blame them. Maybe they got to replace the door that they shot through.
Maybe. Or the window.
Yeah, they shot through the window also. Wasn't that where they had mentioned Joe Knuckles, or Nichols, I think is
Joe
his name.
Nichols.
Joe Nichols.
Yeah.
And I automatically started cussing, and I didn't even finish the video because
You're like, oh, that son of a bitch.
He is such a cynical shit that honestly, if something paranormal happened to him, if it bit him on the ass, he would deny it.
Even if he had like one of those hardcore, like literally that scene in the movie Poltergeist where dude gets like huge bite on his side.
Mm-hmm.
Even if that happened to him, he'd still try to explain it away.
Right. And that's exactly what something needs to happen to somebody like that.
Yeah.
Like I said, healthy skepticism is a good thing. But when you cross that line into cynicism and where you are maligning someone else's experiences, that doesn't help anyone. But we don't know that he's not a disinformation agent.
He very well could be.
And
by the rate that he's going, he sure seems like it.
Oh, yeah. Because they are out there.
Yeah.
A glowy is not a new thing, folks. And so I got to thinking about this, and according to Adam Leon, I've just got a quote. He is the author of UFO Sightings of the 1950s, a collection of UFO reports. He said that throughout the 1950s, with an accurate estimate that there was more than 10,000 sightings of unidentified aerial craft.
That's a lot.
It is a lot.
And you can't fake that shit.
And So, but
Or at
now
least that would be difficult to fake.
a UFO sighting is different than an alien encounter.
Yeah,
And
but
I couldn't
still.
find any information on how many of those were reported during that time frame.
Hasn't dude tried to discredit those as well?
These people have been trying to discredit everything.
Yeah.
But it was interesting. So I went back through on a timeline on some of this stuff. Okay, Operation Paperclip started in 1945.
Mm-hmm.
And for those of you who are not familiar with Operation Paperclip, that's when the United States started bringing people from Germany that were scientists and all that stuff. And one of the guys, that's where NASA came
Working
from.
with the Nazis, basically.
Yes, but you got to realize some of these scientists, some were Nazis, some were just forced to work. I mean, what are you going to do? To sit there and go, oh, yes, go ahead and kill me and my family? I don't think so. So some of these people during that period of time may have had choice and others may not have. So I'm not going to judge, but there was 1,600 of those people over several years that were brought here to America. It's also interesting. Well, you got to realize that they were looking as far as time machines.
Mm-hmm.
The Nazis were. It was also a matter of, I can't remember, the UFO type things was what they were trying to develop.
I mean, they had the first picture phone.
Probably.
Didn't they?
I don't know. I didn't go down that.
And then that's like
hole.
it got destroyed when Nazi Germany was formed.
Yeah. I don't
When
know. There were a lot of
literally,
things.
Started doing the bullshit.
Well,
it got destroyed.
They were
when
also
the war broke out.
Into some really hardcore occult things.
Mm.
Not all the German people. That's not what we're saying. We're talking about the higher echelon that was doing the really heinous shit. Which you could see how all that was totally demonically guided.
I mean, look at our government right now.
Well, yeah, we ain't got to that. Anyhow, Operation Paperclip, 1945. Then you had Roswell that occurred in 1947.
And they've been trying to say that was a hoax for years.
So I'm just thinking, okay, is there, a time frame on some of this shit? Now, this with the Hopkinsville goblins occurred in 1955. So that's not that far from that. And I forgot about this. During that period of time, as far as these little beings and different things, could these have been some form of a chimera? Probably not, because that they apparently were intelligent. They could have been, I don't know, that they would have fit the specifications for a robot.
Mm-hmm.
Because that they could do different things that a robot could not. But going down that rabbit hole, in 1953, the first human chimera was reported. But these were supposed to be natural chimeras, supposedly.
There's no such thing.
Yes and no. Because within that, there are genetic mutations that happen. That does happen within human beings. But with this report, as much as I was allowed access to, because research papers online should not, cost people monies to read. That's bullshit.
They shouldn't. Information in general should not be, there should not be a fee on information.
Well, especially when taxpayer monies have gone to support some of these things.
Right. Look at college.
But they didn't say how this chimera manifests. On some of the other ones that they had mentioned in later years, they did specify what the mutation was, but they didn't on this one. Now, it's only been recently, within the past, I don't know, several years, that as far as chimeras, true chimeras, mixing of species, that has been reported.
Yeah.
Because at one point there was only so many days, and I can't remember how many days that it was, that these things were supposed to exist, and then they were supposed to be destroyed. And then I think that it was under uh, Obama, that was extended, that they could live longer before they were supposedly destroyed. Now, how many people actually believe that those damn things were destroyed?
They're not.
I think we've got a whole island of Dr. Moreau going on.
Literally, we got an SCP contain.
Yeah.
We got the real life SCP containment breach going
Right.
on.
Right. And so that's what I've always thought as
SCP
far
Foundation.
as the chupacabra, that was over there in Puerto Rico. And I would have to go down that rabbit hole to see if there actually was some kind of genetic lab. Back when it was first reported, somebody somewhere at some point did say something about there being some kind of lab there on the island. But the chupacabra over there has supposedly looks totally different than the ones that's been reported in Texas.
Right.
So I think the one in Texas, they said it was some kind of crossbreed between a coyote and a wolf or something, wasn't it? But that would make absolutely...
That would not.
It would make no sense in as far as the thing was hairless.
Yeah. Because that thing was ugly.
Yeah.
It had the mange.
The one from Puerto Rico was more reptilian looking. Yeah. It didn't look like a dog at all.
And that lady had something like stuffed in her freezer for a while that she said was a chupacabra. And didn't she have them stolen from her?
Well, no, there was one lady that had remains in it. They did have it, as far as the taxidermy. But as far as these goblins and stuff in this Kentucky, there in Hopkinsville, that was weird. And I don't know that there has been anything reported that's even similar to that.
I don't know. I don't know that there has been, because that is a very, weird case.
Right.
And very obscure. It's kind of obscure in a lot of ways.
Yeah, that there was more than one of the damn things.
Yeah. I mean, it was on the roof. They were on the roof.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they had climbed on the roof and everything.
Weren't they in the trees and all that?
I don't know if they were in the trees, anywhere near the trees. Some idiot would have said it was an owl.
Dumbasses.
Not everything, because owls apparently
blame them on
are
everything.
A wonderful excuse.
I get it. They scary looking, but they can't be blamed for everything.
No,
a lot of them aren't even
not a damn owl.
A lot of them aren't even scary looking.
No, they're
they
owls.
Just look at you with those big eyes.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they're cool creatures. They really are.
Yeah.
But like I said, not everything can be blamed on that. But I just thought this was interesting as far as the timeline on some of this stuff.
Yeah.
And we know that Hollywood and TV and everything during that period of time, very much on the, flying saucers and the aliens and everything like that. I'm still not sure that wasn't self-disclosure starting even then.
It could have been. It honestly could have been.
So that has kept on. And just about I know it's every week, there's always something in some of the news that I read that's either somebody has had an encounter, there's been more, as far as UFO sightings.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I said, it was just the timeline on that and tying it back. I understand historically there's been people that had supposedly see things that could be thought of as UFOs, which just means that it was something up there and we didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
The ancient alien things, that these were in drawings and paintings, and as far as the Vedic scriptures, which talks about wars in the heavens.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that's one of my primary sources. It's like those people were very accurate on a lot of things. I mean, it was mixed in with a belief system and stuff, but still yet, I don't believe that they were just making that up.
I don't see how they could just make it up,
But as far as this preponderance of information, sightings, all that stuff, and if I'm wrong on this, somebody fact check me and make sure, inform me. This is not intended to be disinformation in any way. This with the Operation Paperclip preceded all of this other stuff. Yeah. And like I said, they very well, we know that they went ahead and carried forth some of the experiments, even some of the horrific experiments that they were doing over in Nazi Germany.
Yeah. Yeah, very much. But then again, that's why the government doesn't want a lot of documentation put out to the public, because it would expose them for the work that they did after.
And they're doing now.
Yeah.
It's not like they stopped.
Well, that goes into the after.
And then you've got other countries that they were doing their own experimentation. I mean, it was like Russia with the two-headed dogs.
And, I mean, there's so much fucked up shit that they're doing right now that we don't even know.
No, and I don't want to know. I'd rather remain semi-blissfully ignorant.
Seriously, there's stuff that they're doing that would honestly fuck us up.
Yeah. Yeah. So, did it ramp up with Operation Paperclip?
No, I think it was already up and...
You think so?
Yeah.
Well, and that's just like with the internet. And there was somebody explaining the other day the difference between the internet and the, the World Wide Web.
The World Wide Web.
That there was a difference. And that was developed for military usage.
I think so.
I think it still is. It's just that it's, been rebranded to make it public friendly. Such as collection of information and data and all that shit that they're going on about.
There's glowies on the internet left
everywhere.
And right. Like, seriously. But they act just like us.
Well, yeah.
Like normal people on the internet, seriously, they act just like whoever else is on there.
Well, and it's just like you do have people...
Just like everyone else.
That are very much willing to turn other people in, not for any criminal wrongdoing.
But for anything.
But because that they have a different ideology.
Yeah.
That's horrifying. I had read a story the other day that this girl was on one of these dating sites. And let me tell you something, folks. If y'all younger, that shit's dangerous. That is dangerous. And she had got to, talking to some of these guys about some of this stuff and had turned them in over political reasons.
For what?
Because that they had a different ideology. And
well, what could she have turned them in for? Like, seriously.
That they were supposedly someplace at a specific time. I really don't want to be that specific on it. People who know. And that this was just because the people were present on the day that supposedly was worse than 9/11. Go back and watch that footage of how those buildings fell, folks. So it just sort of horrified me. Neighbor against neighbor. Yeah.
That's why technology is so fucked up now. Seriously, we have gotten too far with technology.
I think they have gone way, way too far. It's not only that, it's the social engineering that is going on, and that these people are being manipulated and controlled and puppeted to the point they don't know which end is up.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, down is up at this point.
They're upside down.
Yeah.
I mean,
we're literally in Wonderland right now, except it's not Wonderland anymore.
Yeah. I mean, that's one of the things about living in this area. Unless people, the way you live here for very long is you leave other people the hell alone.
You just sit, yeah.
Unless somebody is doing something pretty heinous, you leave them alone.
You mind your business.
Absolutely mind your own business. But now, y'all that's in these big urban areas and stuff, God love you and keep your head on a swivel for real. Because we've got some scary times.
Yeah.
And so maybe we have gone from I would much rather have the goblins climbing the side of the house than some of this shit we got going on today.
Yeah. Yeah, same.
Yeah.
I would rather see like cryptids any day.
So I think we don't know that what we're experiencing is not the current manifestation of Operation Paperclip.
I mean, it definitely is.
Yeah. It wouldn't surprise me in the least.
So,
Mm.
I mean, I already told you, like, we're in stage 7 of genocide right now.
Mm. Well, and that's just where you had to go back as far as Yuri Bezmenov and look up his. I don't remember how many steps that it was,
10.
but I can believe that we're at level 7. Is that what you're referring to
Yeah.
on that? So it was, I don't know that it was necessarily genocide. It was the death of a country. It was ways to destroy a country from within, which is what Khrushchev had said that he would do.
It's both.
Yeah. So
Stage
it's
7
really,
right now.
we are truly in perilous times,
Mm-hmm.
with or without aliens.
Yeah,
I thoroughly
we
believe
don't need any help of aliens right now
Hell
destroying
no.
our country. We already got people up there.
Well, they have been prompted by the aliens, and this is a matter of the reptilians.
Nah, they were going to do that regardless.
And well, it's a matter of the agenda of the reptilians, the objective, fallen angels, reptilians. I don't know that there's a difference. Steal, kill, and destroy. They are not our friends. They hate humanity. They have no mercy, no pity, no empathy, nothing. They are devoid of all that. And there's some people that they just don't get that.
They look human, but not quite.
Right. Right. There's a lot of abilities to cloak themselves. Some of them aren't even trying.
Some of them are just giving themselves away.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. There's some unwritten rule that they have to telegraph what they're getting ready to do before they do it.
Yeah.
People just, it's a matter of having eyes to see. Final thoughts?
Frustration.
Yeah. I think everybody's frustrated right now. Anyhow, if you've had experiences with the paranormal or supernatural, encounters with UFOs, aliens, cryptids, goblins climbing up the side of your house, give us an email, cupofcoffeewithscream@gmail.com. And the links that I have, I will put in there, the references and stuff. I didn't do APA format and or full citations. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. If you like this video, don't forget to like, share, comment, and most of all, subscribe and click that notification button for daily notifications of our daily uploads. Thank you all and have a good.
Know that you're loved.
Yeah.
And let's pray one for another. It's what's going to get us through this.
Yes.
And Lord willing, we'll see you on the next cut.
Mm-hmm.
Bye.
Bye.